Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. At the ProCharge charger giveaway link pinned in the chat there. So if you're a business owner or just own a commercial building or know someone who does, share that link with them. Enter to win a free, one of 3 free EV chargers at your business or commercial building. Okay, we'll say some good mornings. LSU drops game 2 to Kentucky. And, you know, man, over the course of 56, or in LSU's case, 55 games, or maybe after today, 54 games, you're bound to play your worst game of the year. And unfortunately for LSU, I think last night is going to end up being, hopefully, is going to end up being their worst game of the year. You committed 3 errors. That doesn't even include Braden Jobert's misplay in right, which allowed 3 runs to score when you were ahead 6-3, which tied the ball game. You just played a miserable game yesterday. Your offense was fine. I mean, you scored 10 runs on 9 hits. That should be enough to win at home against really anybody. You score 10 runs on 9 hits at home, you should win that game. And your pitching only allowed 7 earned runs, which is a bigger number than you'd like to see. But even still, the 3 of those runs that scored on the pop-up in the 5th, that Jobert misplayed, that should have been there, right? I mean, it was the correct official ruling. For those that didn't see the game, bases were loaded, 2 outs in the 5th. LSU was up 6-3. It was 6-2. A run had already come home for Kentucky. Bases, ground ball to Tommy White at third. He booted it, so the bases were loaded now. That should have ended the inning. The next hitter hits a fly ball to right field, and Braden Jobert runs into foul territory and just overruns the baseball. It lands fair, 3-run score. And the runner ends up at third, and he would end up scoring on a single. So instead of being out of the inning on the ground ball to Tommy White and up 6-2, or 6-3, I guess, or being out of the inning on the fly ball to right and being out of the inning 6-3, you allowed both those chances to go, and you go to the dugout and said up 6-3, down 7-6, and it got worse for LSU in the 7th. So really unfortunate, man. Griffin Herring made a throwing error in that 7th where Kentucky built their lead back. Two bunt opportunities LSU didn't play properly. One was a throwing error by Griffin Herring. Another was a shallow bunt that the runner reached on a single. It was just a terrible game. Now, I mean, Kentucky got 14 hits in the game. It's a bit misleading because they didn't really hit many balls hard. But my goodness, Tigers tried to rally, put up a 3 spot in the 8th. You were down 2, and you had 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, and we had runners on with 1 out. Cade Beloso struck out, then 2nd and 3rd were 2 outs, and Jordan Thompson struck out, which I'm not sure there's anybody else you'd rather have at the plate in that moment than Jordan Thompson. And unfortunately couldn't come through. He's come through so many times in his career, but couldn't come through last night. And Kentucky would add 1 more in the 9th. So Ty Floyd, rocky beginning, but really steadied himself. He was very efficient in the 3rd and the 4th, got to the 5th, got 2 outs, and that's when all the trouble began. And Griffin Herring looked like he was going to get out of it. Got the ground ball to 3rd to Tommy White, which he booted. Got the fly ball to right with Braden Jobert, which he misplayed, and then it didn't get better. So Unfortunate, man. Like that was just as sloppy a game as LSU has played all year. To commit three errors really should have been a fourth. I mean, considering the Joe Bear play, which isn't officially an error, but was the most costly. Um, you know, LSU struck out 7 times in the game, including in some really big moments. Tigers scored 10, but left 9 on base. I mean, just it was a terrible game. I mean, it might be the worst game they played all year. And the really, really sad part of it all is today, the weather, it's supposed to rain all day. And I don't know how they're going to get this game in. So for the second consecutive week, you're probably not going to get game 3 in. So we'll see if they can get it in, and hopefully they can. So, okay, we'll say some good mornings. The other thing, of course, this afternoon, the LSU Gymnastics team is in the 4 on the floor, so they go for a national championship today. So despite their early season struggles, I think they lost 4 of their first 5 meets. And they've had injuries this year, but they've battled their, kind of, boy, they had to win a tiebreaker in regionals to advance to the regional finals. And then they finished first in their grouping. So it's LSU, Florida, Utah, who LSU has already competed against this year, and Oklahoma. So some familiar names in college gymnastics, but LSU goes for a national championship today. All right, let's say our good mornings here. Kelly Gross, Ryan Amanda Guidry, good morning, y'all. Thanks for being here. Love the shirt. Yeah, it's a Superman dad shirt. I don't know where or what. Erica does all these like Etsy shirts all the time, like for Father's Day or Drew's birthday. I don't know. This one maybe was a Father's Day shirt. I don't remember why she made this one. But anyway. Bubba Smith, Mark Vitanovich, good morning. Jason Horn picked up the Jordan 1 Lucky Greens. Very nice, dude. Very nice. Let's see. Deborah Cowart, RJ Blank, Matt, I think we're looking at delayed start time today. Yeah, I mean, RJ, I was looking at the forecast. I mean, it's literally rain all through, I mean, all the way through tonight. I don't know. I mean, my hope is that the forecast maybe improves. The thing I will say is, and I've learned this over the years, just when you look at a forecast and it's a % chance of rain, it's not a % chance of rain blanketing the entire area. It's that % in that coverage area. So for example, if there's a 30% chance of rain, like if you look at all of the greater Baton Rouge map, which could include like Ascension and Livingston and parts of Tangipahoa, right? Like the whole coverage area, right? So like wherever that station broadcasts to, up to St. Francisville, potentially, all that stuff. West Baton Rouge, like it's a 30% chance that it could rain anywhere in that coverage area. So even though it may never, maybe the rain stays to the south and it rains in Gonzales, but it doesn't rain at LSU's campus. Like that's your hope today, is that there's enough of a clearing between cells over LSU that they can get the game in. So, all right. John Melanson, good morning. Bummer last night. Let's go win the series today. Shoot, hope they get it in today, John. But look, man, the thing about LSU is they've hit the baseball, right? And last night it wasn't even necessarily the pitching. Your pitching wasn't great, but if you play solid defense behind your pitchers last night, you win that game. And you didn't. So, I know a lot of people are just gonna throw up their hands and say the pitching's terrible, the bullpen's weak, and like I'm not gonna deny. Obviously, you're better if you could go to Chase Shores instead of Griffin Herring, right? And that's not to knock Griffin Herring; he's been very good, but like Chase Shores, Garrett Edwards were your 2 most consistent guys, and then Herring is bringing you depth, Yeah, so yeah, I mean they're looking for answers. I don't know if y'all were watching late in the game. Javen Coleman was up in the bullpen. Terrio said it yesterday at AFR. I don't know if y'all heard it, but I clipped it and put it on Twitter. But Terrio said Javen Coleman was throwing a bullpen this week and was throwing 96. So um, he's ready. He's ready to roll. But anyway, you're going to get that guy back, which will be helpful. Hopefully, you ramp him up. The more you get throughout this season, to where he can be a really consistent arm for you the rest of the way. Devin Kelly, good morning. Larry Garner, Samuel Smith. Not worried because of one bad game in the field, but pitching has me pretty concerned. So the one bad game in the field is true, no doubt. But last night, I don't put last night on pitching and pitching alone. Look, Ty Floyd was shaky in the beginning, but he really steadied, and he was very economical in the third and the fourth, and he got you 2 outs into the fifth and just couldn't close the door. And then your defense fell apart behind him. So behind Griffin Herring, like we said, the grounder to White at third should have ended the inning, and then the fly ball to Joe Bear and Wright should have ended the inning, and instead they ended up plating 5 runs in the fifth. I mean, you went from being up 6-2 to down 7-6 not because of pitching, because your defense behind your pitching failed. Dustin B, good morning. Guy Brooks, good morning, Matt. Hope you had an awesome Friday. Tough loss against Kentucky. Dalton Barnett, good morning. Brandon Tilley, morning. Upset about the Tigers' loss. Felt like we got outplayed badly. How worried are you about the pitching following Skeens? Look, Todd Walker made a really good point on AFR yesterday, if y'all missed him. Because I asked him that question. And he said, well, Ole Miss won a national championship last year with 2 guys. And he's completely right. I mean, they basically had a veteran guy and a freshman, Hunter Elliott, emerge late, and those 2 guys paced them through an undefeated postseason. So what they did was they hit the ball very well. And this LSU offense is good enough to hit anybody on any given day. And the defense has been good enough. I just think it's going to look different than what we thought at the beginning of the year, which was, man, does anybody have a rotation that looks like Skeens, Floyd, Hurd, Christian Little, who'd been a weekend guy at Vanderbilt, and Floyd's had his struggles. Obviously, Thatcher Hurd is out of the rotation right now. Christian Little hasn't shown he can extend. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's reason to be concerned about, who steps up and eats up those innings. I think it's just going to look different. But as long as you defend and hit behind your pitchers, you can make it. Edward O. Matt, when are you going to work at D1 baseball, or is that just a rumor? I didn't even know that was a rumor. No, I'm not going to work at D1 baseball. Like, where did that rumor start? No, I'm not going to work at D1 baseball. I've never had a conversation with anyone about working at D1 baseball, ever. Janet, Matt, did the Ole Miss freshman Will Furnace get an offer from LSU? I remember talking about, so that's Eddie Furnace's son, by the way, for those that don't know. I remember talking to Eddie about that. And I think, I don't know how much, interest there was, but I think, Janet, it's one of those things almost like with Drew Bianco coming to LSU. So not to be another Bianco on the field there at Ole Miss, or not to just be like his father's son sort of thing. I think Eddie's son didn't want to come to LSU where he was playing at a field where his dad's name and jersey number is retired. I think it's just kind of like carve your own path type deal. So, as I recall. Samuel Smith, all right, at the Strawberry Festival in Ponchatoula. Have a great day. Austin Kidder, good morning. All right, Dad's there. Introducing you to your morning show. You're right about Joe Bear being a liability in the outfield. Well, tell your pops I said what's up. Good morning. The thing about Joe Bear is, yes, he's not. You have better options in the field. That's undeniable. Stevenson is a better option defensively. Pearson is a better option defensively. Um, Trey Morgan is a better option defensively. You have options for sure that are better defensively. Um, but on this team, you can, since right field it's not a premium defensive position, you can justify putting a bat out there. Last night's mistake was massive and costly, but Braden Jobear's played a solid right field. It's not like he's got, you know, cement boots and he can't move out there. He just overran a ball. I mean, do you remember? And it was a horrible, costly play. I mean, you lost 13-10. That allowed 3 runs to get home, and then the inning continued, and they got a 4th run home. So, or a run after that, I should say, which was the 5th run of the inning. But I also, the flip side of it, how can you justify taking Braden Jobear out of the lineup right now? I mean, he was 2 for 4 last night. He is batting .304. In limited action, he's got 6 homers. I mean, he had a grand slam the night before. I don't know that you can justify that. And like, I just saw a comment that was like defense, defense, defense. I'm not sure if you're saying put defense in the field over offense, but if that's the case, I can't support that on this team, because you're literally taught, like, Tommy White committed an error last night. Tommy White is not coming out of your lineup, period. Like, Braden Jobear is playing consistently because he's mashing the baseball, and he's been very good in right field, except for that play last night, which obviously was very costly. But again, you don't overreact to one moment or one play. It was devastating. I mean, it was a horrible, costly play last night. Everyone knows that. Braden Jobear knows that. I mean, if you want to put Pearson in right, okay. But the only thing that I would maybe do then would put Beloso at first and I DH Jobear, and then Jones goes to the bench. But if you want another right-handed bat in the lineup, you need Jones. And Jones got you an RBI in the 9th last night. So a 2 RBI single in the 9th. So, or the 8th, I'm sorry. So I don't know that you want him out of the lineup. You got a lot of good players, and trying to figure out how to get them all, playing time in ABs. But I'm not gonna dogpile Braden Jobear, who's been very good, because of overrunning a ball last night. Was it a bad? Yes, it was a terrible play. I mean, it was a terrible play at the most inopportune time that changed the game. But even then, it's still 7-6. He didn't give up the 5 spot in the 7th. Rick Manuel, good morning from Lake Charles. Okay. LSU's defense, quality relief pitching will be factored down the stretch. With that talent, LSU scoring 2 runs should be enough to win most games. I'll disagree with you there, Rick. Scoring 2 runs in college baseball, even behind Paul Skeens, is seldom going to be enough. Maybe you're exaggerating a bit. Hey, Dad, good morning. Michael Cook, good morning. Logan Mathern. Thomas Spencer, good morning. Jim Arsenault. Missing Edwards on a night like last night. He comes in and takes care of business. Again, Logan, like, the thing that you all are missing and not acknowledging is in the 5th inning, you brought in Griffin Herring, and he got a ground ball to third base that Tommy White booted, and a fly ball to right field that Braden Jobear overran. They should have been out of the inning. Do you know what I mean? Instead, what should have been a very quick relief appearance by Herring, slamming the door, and you're back in the dugout with a 3-run lead, extends. He has to throw more pitches, and now you're in the dugout down 7-6, and the whole vibe of the game has changed. And he threw up a 0 in the 6th, and then got into trouble again in the 7th. And yes, I think Jay left him out there too long because the defense let him down again, misplayed 2 bunts. He threw an errant ball to first base on a bunt, and at that point, when he hit a guy, it was like, come get him. Like, he was looking for the escape hatch. He was looking to hand the ball to somebody else. And Jay left him out there to kind of battle through it. And that was before LSU had mounted their rally. So Jay's thinking, I'm not going to waste a good arm right now. And then LSU rallied, of course, in the 8th. And then, you looked ahead, but whatever. So no, I disagree on missing Edwards last night because Herring came in and did what you needed him to do. He got a ground ball and a fly ball, and you should have been out of the inning. All right. Megan Hurst, good morning from Boston, running the marathon on Monday. God bless you, Megan. That's awesome. Yeah, if y'all don't know, like even to run in the Boston Marathon, like you have to qualify to run in the Boston Marathon. Something I was never a strong enough runner to ever do, even though I ran 2 marathons. So good luck to you, Megan. That's awesome. Congrats. Jeremy Weiss, good morning. Getting excited for the draft. What positions would you like them to address with the first 2 picks? Defensive tackle. And then I don't care. Genuinely, as long as they get the best defensive tackle available at 29, I don't care what they do at 40. They need receiver, they need tight end, they need defensive end, they could go linebacker, they could go safety, running back. I'm really good with whatever they do at 40 as long as they get an interior defensive lineman. Hang on, I think Drew's backpack's beeping. Hang on 1 second. My apologies. Sorry. He's being a lazy bones today, man. 10:30, still sleeping. As always, our shout out to Brock, the Badger Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing. Need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Need a roof, give us a shout at Hudco. And if you're just jumping aboard, the pinned link in the chat is the Pro Charge EV charger giveaway. So if you own a business or a commercial building anywhere in the state of Louisiana or work for a company that has a commercial building, ProCharge is giving away 3 free EV chargers installed this month. So the promotion runs all through April. So click that link. It's real quick to fill out the form or send it to a property manager, your boss, whoever owns or a friend, a relative who owns a business and has a commercial building. Send them that link. What does Kentucky's pen look like today compared to ours? I mean, Kentucky, Kentucky's best arm is Hagen Al, and he faced 3 batters in the 8th last night and got nobody out. So their strength of their team is their bullpen. They don't have really starting pitching. So you could see what they do. They go with their starter for a couple of innings and pass the ball, and it's a lot of arms in there. So that's how they piece together games. LSU has hit them. They scored 16 runs on Thursday and 10 runs yesterday. That's not the problem. The problem yesterday was LSU's defense really let it down. Aaron Hornsby, Blake Morgan, it happens sometimes. You miss a catch, should have been made. You're right, Matt. His batting's why he needs to be out there. Oh, Joe Barry. Dane Bergeron, Jeff McKithen, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Nicholas Cantrell, morning, Scone. Can the Tigers take the series, or will pitching and fielding let us down? How are the arms left in the Kentucky bullpen? So just talking about Kentucky, we can talk about LSU's pen a little bit as well. So you got Christian Little, obviously, to start. Let's assume Blake Money is going to be scratched for the rest of the weekend, which is okay. Money through 39 pitches, Herring through 63 pitches yesterday. So those 2 you have to say are scrapped. So you've got Christian Little. You certainly could go to Thatcher Hurd. You could absolutely go back to Dutton to extend. So I would assume they would go Dutton or Little, Dutton probably following Little. You absolutely could go to Thatcher Hurd. So these are all guys that can pitch and can extend. I'm not talking about what results. I'm saying who could you give the ball to in these situations. If you need a lefty, you could go back to Riley Cooper today. Of course, Gavin Guidry can throw for you. So you've got enough options. You've got enough options, enough arms to get through a game. It's really just a matter of how effective can the guys you hand the ball to be. But LSU's fine on the number of arms they have to hand the ball to get through today. Dustin B, this weather rolling through ain't no joke. Wow. I mean, I guess it's worth mentioning that if you are in an area, look, I mean, HUDCO serves Lafayette as well. So if you do or think you might have roof damage, give us a shout at HUDCO, HUDCOroofing.com. Weston Weaver, morning, Matt. Is just me or does Ty Floyd look irritated? Is he irritated at the catcher coaches? First couple of innings, he looked ticked. I don't know if I didn't get that, Weston. The thing that did look, he looked annoyed when Jay Johnson was taking him out of the game. I think because he knew he was 1 out away from qualifying for the win. How differently things change with that decision. Jude Sansing, a retired businessman on a golf course, has a better day or sense of urgency than his teams. Jude, last week they played South Carolina. They overcame 2 4-run deficits. I mean, we've seen this team rally plenty this year. It's just the nature of baseball, man. And it's the thing I talk about often whenever we talk about LSU baseball. Godly, it's over the course of 56 games, y'all, you're gonna have good and bad days, man. Like, you cannot overreact to a game. Like, yeah, yesterday sucked. Of course it did. I mean, but you also have to acknowledge the fact that LSU scored 10 runs last night. They committed 3 errors and really a 4th if you include Joe Bears. Like, very makeable plays, routine plays that didn't go their way. Yo, when LSU played Tennessee, remember when I think it was Pearson who hit the pop-up on the infield that landed on the pitcher's mound? Nobody from Tennessee made the play. It counted as a double. Like, does that mean they're a terrible team? No, like, they had a brain fart and missed a pop-up on the infield. Like, it happens. I mean, yesterday sucked. It was a very winnable game. If LSU plays a clean game, they win that game. But they didn't. So, it stinks. I don't know what to tell you. It stinks. But all the things that we've talked about, like, well, the bullpen stinks. That wasn't the problem. I mean, you went to Griffin Herring with 2 men on and 2 outs. He got a ground ball to third, and Tommy White booted it. Bases loaded. He gets a pop fly to right field, and Braden Jobert overruns it. Like, you should have been out of that inning up 6-3. And Griffin Herring has hang on. I want to go look at the pitch sequence. Bear with me. Bear with me, if you will. Let's look at the 5th. Okay. So, okay. All right, so Herring comes into pitch. After Burke single to make it 6-3, there's 2 on. It was the first pitch of the at-bat. He comes in and throws 1 pitch, gets a grounder to Tommy White at third base. Griffin Herring would have been back in the dugout after 1 pitch. After 1 pitch, he would have been back in the dugout with a 6-3 lead. And we're going, Griffin Herring, beautiful move by Jay Johnson. Got the right guy at the right time. Instead, now you get the bases loaded, and on a 3-2 count, let's see, strike, then 3 balls and a strike, so it's 3-2, foul ball, that's 6 pitches. So then he has to throw a 7-pitch at bat, and McCarthy triples, which was really just a fly ball. And credit Herring coming back from a 3-1 count to throw strike, foul ball, so strike, fly ball to right, which should have been the out. And instead you're tied 6-6. He gives up the single up the middle. You're down 7-6. Then he gets a strikeout. So he ends up throwing 1, 2, 3, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18 pitches. Instead of throwing 1 pitch, Griffin Herring ends up throwing an 18-pitch inning to get the final out because Tommy White missed the grounder and Joe Bear missed it. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you could say pitching let you down. Not really. Your defense let you down. Griffin Herring should have thrown 1 pitch. If Tommy White fields the grounder to third, Griffin Herring throws 1 pitch in the 5th inning, and you're back in the dugout up 6-3. Instead, he throws 18 pitches because White booted it and Joe Bear ran the foul ball, or the fly ball. Anyway. Edward O, good weather to sit outside watching the rain and drink beer. That's not a bad idea, actually. I do like sitting outside watching the rain. LSU fan, good morning, Scone Stradamus. Those were fun days. Palmer, let's see. Lamartiniere. Wow, that's a lot of letters. Not saying Tommy can't play third. What do we think of giving Bear Jones some run over there? Nope. I'm fine with Tommy White at third base. Third base is the spot on the field that commits the most errors. It's the longest throw across the diamond. They call it the hot corner for a reason. Like, you are going to see the most errors at third base. And we've already seen this, if you take Tommy White off a third, then you have to DH, and that costs you a bat. So if you move Tommy White at third, you're removing him from third for defense, which means you either put Napolt or Merrifield at third. And we saw that experiment earlier this week, and it wasn't earlier this year, and it wasn't dramatically better. So no, I'm good winning games how you have to win games. Tommy White made a beautiful play charging a bunt later in the game yesterday. He's very capable. I'm not telling you that he's going to be an All-American defender. I'm not telling you he's going to the show and going to be a Gold Glove third baseman, but he's very capable. He's booted the ball. Sammy Smith, why was the weekend series Thursday through Saturday, not Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Those are determined before the season, Samuel. It's done for TV. Why didn't they do a doubleheader yesterday? Yeah, I'll tell y'all candidly, on Thursday, when I was starting AFR at 3 o'clock, I was told they were doing a doubleheader on Friday. Like, that decision had been made. And then at some point, or at least they were preparing for that likelihood. And then at some point, obviously, they changed their mind. Jay said after the game on Thursday that the reason was because they used 6 pitchers on Tuesday, and they wanted to give their arms an extra day of rest. And they were willing to try to dodge the rain today. It's obviously a miss if they don't get this game in today. Gregory Gordy, good morning. Yeah, I'm with you. It says, so hope Mother Nature lets your player take precautions ahead of time. I'm with you. Like, they should have played a doubleheader. Absolutely should have played it. Yesterday, the weather was beautiful. You could have played 2 yesterday. They should have played 2 yesterday. Wendell Norman, good morning. Awesome to see Coleman so close to being back. That's true. Great to see him in the bullpen yesterday, man. I'm ready to see him out there. Jay also said Nate Ackenhausen will be available next week. So you'll have Nate Ackenhausen, hopefully Javen Coleman, Griffin Herring, and Riley Cooper, which means you'll have 4 lefties available next week. So, and y'all, next week is when, like, after this weekend is when the schedule lightens up considerably. I think that's the other thing that maybe we haven't considered enough, y'all. Like, every team LSU has played so far, the lowest they've been ranked is 11th. So you're playing a really tough first half of the conference, but after this you get Ole Miss and State and Auburn and Bama and Georgia. Like, it is a relative cakewalk the rest of the way for LSU. So you can get healthy, you can win a bunch of games, and go into the postseason with a lot of confidence. So 149 watching, only 24 likes on YouTube. Can we please take a quick second, smash that like button? If you're watching on mobile, just X out of the live chat, hit the thumbs up button, and then just hit live chat. The comments come right back. I appreciate it very much if you would. And if you're new, please subscribe up to the channel. Let's see, Samuel, just in general, I'm concerned about pitching, not necessarily last night. Seems like there's always runners on base when we're pitching. How do you think other teams feel when they play LSU? Dugas being out of the lineup hurt as well. The Napolt's bat isn't anywhere near Dugas. I'll tell you, listen, I am not I'm not the guy that likes to challenge a coach's strategic decisions in I'm not the kind of guy that likes to challenge a coach's strategic decisions in a game because typically, as I always say, a coach will make a strategic decision with something in mind, right? There is a logical process that they've used based on their data available to make a strategic decision. And in baseball, the old adage is you could fail 70% of the time and you're in the Hall of Fame. So a lot of times the decision you make won't work out, but that's okay if you made it with sound logic. Like I can live with the result if the reason you made the decision makes sense. I was, however, very surprised in the seventh that, and I'm bringing this up because someone asked about, it was Edward O who said Dugas being out there in the lineup hurt Napolt's bat isn't anywhere near Dugas. So the point I was going to make is in the seventh, I was very surprised Jay let Ben Napolt hit. So in the seventh, you're down 12-6. Beloso grounded out weakly, and then Jones walked. And then Joe Bear doubled. So everybody crapping on Joe Bear, he was 2 for 4 last night and put you in positions to score twice. So you have second and third after the double, and Thompson grounds out to third. Well, let me rephrase. Thompson hits a ground ball to third. The run scores. Joe Bear, total brain fart, runs to third base and runs himself into an out, which was, I mean, like if I'm coaching 7-year-olds and I have a runner on second base and the ball's hit in front of him and he runs into an out, I'm livid. At 7-year-olds. There's no, like, I can forgive Joe Bear's overrunning the pop-up because that's a physical mistake. And physical mistakes happen in this game. They just do. He misjudged a ball. Maybe there was wind. I don't know. Like, physical mistakes happen. Running into an out when every out is precious and you're in scoring position, the ball is hit in front of you and you run directly into the out, that is elementary. That's the thing, quite honestly, that is unforgivable in the game. The fly ball to right was devastating. But running into the out was like, anyway, point is, so Joe Bear runs into the out. So now you get 2 outs. There's a wild pitch. So Thompson gets to second. So really no harm, no foul. Like, you're still in the same situation. If Joe Bear had stayed at second, they'd thrown the ball to first and gotten Thompson out. You're still in the same situation. You actually have a better runner now with Thompson at second base. So Thompson at second, 2 outs. It's 12-7. You got a runner in scoring position, and Ben Napolt is up. In that situation, I couldn't believe he let Ben Napolt hit. It would have been in that situation so easy to let Pearson hit, and then Pearson would go to the outfield, and you could bring Merrifield into second base. There would have taken a shuffle there, or you could have just let Pearson hit and then not put Pearson into the game. You could have subbed for Merrifield at second base. So I couldn't believe he let Napolt swing there, and Napolt, of course, struck out and ended the inning with a runner in scoring position. So that's the one moment in the game, and then Pearson did hit in the 8th. Pearson hit for Milazzo to lead off the 8th, and he walked. So I was really, really surprised in that situation that he let Ben Napolt hit, but I'm sure he had good reason for it. Maybe he liked Napolt against that batter or that pitcher or whatever. Thus to be the Joe Bear error was a backbreaker. But it wasn't because it was in the 5th inning. You still had 15 outs to go, and it was a 1-run game. Like, yes, it sucked. But everyone who continues to talk about the Joe Bear, and it wasn't even an error by rule. And by the way, by rule, it was right. It was the correct call because Joe Bear didn't touch the ball. Just like I talked about the thing with Tennessee a couple weeks ago when Pearson hit the pop up on the infield and it landed on the pitcher's mound. That was a double. Like, it goes in the scorebook as a double. Nobody touched it. So, Dave and Durr, good morning. Edward O, Hurd and Little were both overhyped. No, see, here's the thing, man. The thing about Hurd is, and I'm not gonna move off of this position. Hurd's stuff is still elite. The spin rate on his slider, throwing 96 with run, the stuff is elite with Thatcher Hurd. Like, and that's why I'm at least confident. And we've seen him be dominant. He was dominant last year. And it wasn't like he was dominant in JUCO. He was dominant in the Pac-12. Like, they play good baseball there. The problem has been location for him. If Wes Johnson can get him locating, Thatcher Hurd can be awesome for this team and might still be. And I'm convinced that a part of that is still overcome an injury. But it is fair to say that we had greater expectations for Thatcher Hurd than what he has met so far in the season. That's fair to say. Stoned Musso, good morning. I hope everyone has a great weekend. LSU fans need to calm down, let Jay cook. Once we get Edwards and Shores back, we'll be okay. Yes, Stone Musso, you're not getting Edwards and Shores back this year. They're like, Jay's never going to say it. I don't know if they're ever going to break that news, but you're not getting those guys back this year. So, you are moving through the season without those guys. Who you are going to get back clearly is Javen Coleman. So, can you ramp Javen Coleman up from now through hopefully the end of June to where he can start to extend for you? Or is he just going to be a situational one batter here, one inning there type guy? Brambo, Dugas will be back, and the Tigers are going to rally today. I don't think Gavin's going to play today. According to what Jay said, the expectation is he'll be back next week. Dave, what is Edward's status? Yeah, y'all, I mean, again, hang on one second. I'll be right back. Sorry. Right back. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, we got some more of those likes up. We're up at 43, so 145 watching. Hopefully, if you haven't done so yet, you can smash that like button for us and subscribe up to the channel. We appreciate it. What were we talking about? Edwards? What is Edwards' status? Yeah, like, I don't, okay, Drew's awake. Okay. If y'all will, just give me one quick second. Let me get him. His backpack was beeping. For those that are new and don't know, that's his backpack is his feeding tube. And so his feed was hanging, so I had to go turn it off. But now he's awake and I can hear him talking and he wants to get out of bed. So hang on one second. He's awake and I can hear him talking. That's not what I wanted to do. So hang on one second. Boom. There we go. Okay. I will be back momentarily. I will titillate your senses with this.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terry. All you need is Hardco. Call Hardco Roofing. 364-1007.
Okay. On Sunday, Daddy will go to church, and Daddy and Drew can go for a ride to the. Okay. Look who I got. Look who I got. What do you see? Who is it? What do you say? What do you say?
Hi, Dad Joe.
Can you say good morning? Say good morning, Dad Joe.
Good morning, Dad Joe.
Well, that was very sweet. Why are you being such a sleepyhead, huh? It's 11 o'clock. You slept until 11 o'clock, sleepyhead. You slept half the day away. I love you. I love you.
It was time
What, baby?
to kick.
It's time to kick. It's time to kick
Rocks.
rocks. It's time to kick rocks. With Ryan Terrio. Let's see. Bubba Tatum. Morning, Sconers. About to bust out 500 pounds of bugs, 200 pounds of shrimp. Woo! I want to come. Let's see. Man, I'm really behind on comments. My apologies. Jeff Hawk, good morning, man. Chilly outside in KC, huh? Well, ain't chilly here, man, but it is rainy. Hope you're doing good out there, man. Murder Giraffe, good morning. Scotty Nero, I cringe more when the ball is hit to Tommy at third than when the ball is hit at Joe Bear. He's definitely not coming out because of his defense. Tommy White has played a fine third base, y'all. Again, every team, the most errors committed by the third baseman. It's the hot corner. It's the hardest throw. It's the longest throw to make across the infield, all that stuff. Like, you're going to have more errors at third than anywhere else. Reed, so you have to pull the plug on Floyd. Doesn't have enough control to be dependable. Completely disagree with you. You don't have another option. And he actually settled in and was very economical in the third and the fourth, and darn near got through the fifth. He got you 2 outs in the fifth. Let's see. No, I'm Austin. Austin, I know what you meant. So Austin is saying he was responding to a debate about Joe Bear in the offseason. And that was absolutely a point I was making in the offseason was I don't know that I want Braden Joe Bear in the outfield. Now, to his credit, he has lost weight, he has gotten quicker, and he has done fine in right field. He has not been a total liability in the outfield. He made a terrible mistake last night. He did. And I'm sure he would acknowledge that to you. But I'll repeat that Griffin Herring should have been out of that inning with one pitch. On the first pitch, he got a ground ball to Tommy White at third that Tommy White booted. And even still, the bases were loaded, and then got the foul, the pop fly to Braden Joe Bear, which should have got you out of the inning. And defense slowed down. So if we're ever saying pitching, left Herring into, like, Griffin Herring should have been out of that inning after one pitch, and you should have had a 3-run lead. So what? What? No, don't you touch that. What you doing? What you doing?
Huh?
So curious, huh? You're so inquisitive all the time.
Yeah.
Always inquisitive, asking questions. Getting in there by stuff, huh? Yep.
No.
Let's see. Yeah, a lot of y'all are talking about, like, okay. A lot of y'all are talking, I'm getting to some of these comments that I missed, but y'all were, apparently a lot of y'all are discussing why they can't change a series. So the rule is, so the series are set before the season. If it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's largely done because of TV. And when you're LSU and you're ranked number 1 in the country, you're going to draw a lot of primetime Thursday games, which LSU has done so far this year. Now, last week for Easter, the league made that decision where any team could make the decision to play on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so it's not to play on Easter Sunday. And most do. There was only one Friday, Saturday, Sunday series last week, which was the Georgia-Kentucky series, oddly. So the other rule in the league is, so that's set beforehand, and you can't switch it from Thursday, Friday, Saturday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can't. And the other rule in the league is that you have 3 days to play the 3 games. So once you start a series on Thursday, it finishes Saturday no matter what. Even if there's bad weather and a team has a private charter, you can't extend it into Sunday. You got 3 days to play 3, that's it. So they have to get game 3 in today or it's not played, just like last week. Okay. Devin Kelly. Let's see. Paul. Oh, y'all talking about Maneri and Skip Urban. Let's see. Dalton. Matt, my cousin's getting married the day LSU plays Alabama. Should I buy tickets and use that as an excuse? Fall weddings. What is this world coming to? Yeah. Your only hope, Dalton, would be that game ends up at, if it's a night wedding and the game is at 2:30, you can watch the game and then go to the wedding. I also fully maintain that if you schedule a fall wedding, and you want to have a fall wedding, that's fine. But if nobody comes to your wedding, that's your fault. You're the one who scheduled the fall wedding. And if you scheduled it on the LSU Alabama game, that's your fault. I would also say that your cousin is extended family, and like if it was your brother or your sister, that's different. You could totally miss your cousin's wedding and your cousin's not going to care. To be very honest with you, and I was given this piece of advice years ago, and it's a very good piece of advice. Bill Profita gave it to me. He said,
No.
"What, baby?
No.
Don't you do that." No. He said, "It's okay to miss a wedding. It's never okay to miss a funeral." And the truth is, no one remembers who's at their wedding. Everybody remembers who comes to a funeral. So, Dalton, if you want to stay home and watch that football game, I don't blame you. I don't think your cousin's even going to care. Let's see. LSU fan, good morning. Antron Hemingway, good morning. Marshall Andrews said, is the pitching staff good enough to win it all? I'll repeat something I said earlier. Asked that question to Todd Walker, and he said, yeah, because look at what Ole Miss did last year. They won the national championship with 2 guys.
I know.
Which is true. That's not the right one. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss at the end of that season won the national championship with Dylan DeLucia and Hunter Elliott. That was it. And they smashed the baseball. So, yeah. Let's see. Antron, what time is the Brian Kelly press conference today? If you hang on 1 second, I will tell you. My apologies. Apologies. Let's see. Today they practice. No Brian Kelly today. 4 players available at 12:05. Stone Musso, Leah said the game is 1. Yeah, the game is scheduled for 1 o'clock, but if the weather is bad, they're going to have to move it back. Let's see. TC, isn't Tennessee, Georgia usually the same day? Tennessee, Georgia? I don't know what day Tennessee, Georgia is usually. Georgia, Florida is usually the LSU's open date. Marcel Joseph, any word on Kim Mulkey getting anyone from the transfer portal? I haven't. I mean, I know that. I mean, there's the sharpshooter from Louisville is the one that everybody's talking about, Haley Van Lith, but I don't know if they're going to get her. G. Brumfield, 1971, go Tigers. Okay, from Matsu Valley. Okay. Dawn Barnett, I'll tell him Scone said I was exempt come November. You should, man. Joey Vincent, good morning. Good luck to the Gymnastics girls. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to watching that today. Devin, who's our second guy, though? You hope Floyd and Hurd come around. What if they don't? Um, well, either one of those guys could be the guy. Maybe it's Javen Coleman. Maybe it's Griffin Harry moving into a starting role. Something I'll tell you, Devin, is look, I mean, Hunter Elliott was a freshman last year, and he didn't emerge until late in the season. So, like, the thing that I think we're a little, like, we're collectively, there's, I don't know how to say this. Y'all, the next 5 weeks, you're going to play a lot of really bad teams. Like, Ole Miss is terrible. Auburn, Alabama, Mississippi State, Georgia, not good baseball teams. Like, your schedule is about to lighten up considerably. I don't think you realize just how difficult these first 5 weeks in conference were. So, and you've got more than a month to figure all this out and find out who you can count on. And a baseball season is an evolution, man. It's such a long season. I mean, you're going to have guys emerge. Guys, like, at the beginning of this season, a lot of us were like, why did Cade Beloso come back? He's not going to get to play. And now he's hitting in the middle of your lineup. We looked and we're like, why is Braden Jobert coming back? Like, he's not going to play in the outfield on this team. You got Pearson, you got Stevenson. Morgan's going to be playing some of the outfield. Dylan Cruz is back. You brought in Paxton Kling, who's probably going to be starting in right field. We were all like, why is Braden Jobert coming back? He should go where he's going to be able to get ABs. He's your starting right fielder and hitting bombs out of the 7-hole. I mean, a season is an evolution, y'all. I mean, it is. And we thought Grant Taylor was going to be the closer. Tommy John. Christian Little looked like the way the Texas game, the second week of the season played out, Thatcher Hurd starting on the road, absolutely awesome. Christian Little coming in, closing, slamming the door in the ninth. Like, we all thought that was what it was going to look like. And it hasn't looked like that since. So, a season is long. It's an evolution. You just got to be patient. Like, I know we all try to draw these wide sweeping conclusions from one game or one moment. It's not like that in baseball. Shane Danos, morning, Matt. Me and the wife riding around the state, hitting Avery Island, Oak Alley, then the game if they could play today. Okay, good day, man. TC, imagine if you get Blake Money back to the form he was in before the injury last year. I'm sorry, man. I think Blake Money is just an arm. When you're up 10 or down 10, I just think he's an arm that I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Blake Money finds some gear that we have not seen during his LSU career. But I know we love to say Blake Money was your Friday night guy. Like, he started the season as your Friday night guy last year, and it went so poorly that Mikhail Hilliard ended up being that guy. And much respect to Mikhail. He threw a lot of innings for LSU during his career. But the kid threw 88 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't a Friday night guy in the SEC. That illustrates your issues. So, I would love to be wrong. I would love to see Blake Money find some gear that we haven't seen in his LSU career. But, I mean, if you remember, that was a guy who was left off the postseason roster his freshman year. Was supposed to be your Friday guy last year, lost that gig, and is really just an arm in the back of your bullpen right now. So, I'm not trying to be dismissive or disparaging to a young guy trying really hard. I don't know how you could. You said the form before the injury, like, I don't even know what you're referring to there. Like, he started the season as your Friday night guy and lost the gig because he wasn't good. Devin Kelly with CSC record for strikeouts. Can Skeens touch it? I think it's Ben McDonald's record. Only 202. I'm pretty sure. Hang on. I'm looking at the SEC records page right now. Hang on one second. Here you go. Strikeouts. Season. Yep. Ben McDonald, 202 in 1989. Hey, your boy, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again. So Ben McDonald had 202 in 1989. David Price is second with 194 in 2007. John Powell from Auburn in 1993. David Lilliquist from Georgia in 1987. Eric Dubose from Mississippi State in 1996. Carson Fulmer from Vandy in 2015. Tim Hudson, Dave Fleming. Anthony Renato, 2009 with 159. Doug Thompson, 158 back in 1997. Kurt Ainsworth, Ed Yarnell, Russ Springer. A lot of LSU guys on that list. But yeah, no, Ben still got the record at 202. Can Skeens touch it? Yeah. Yes, he can. I mean, he's going to make... he'll make 5 more SEC starts. He should pitch at least once in the SEC tournament. Regional, super regional. I mean, he'll make at least 7 more starts. Super regional would be 8. And then potentially 3 in Omaha could make 11. Likely 2 in Omaha, but potentially 3 in Omaha. So you could see 10 more starts. You could see him throw 70 more innings. And he's averaging more than a strikeout per innings pitched. He could push it for sure. Let's see. On the way to the game for my birthday. Okay, happy birthday. Matt, if the game today gets canceled, how would that impact the rest of the season? Yeah, Marcel, I mean, just like last week, you'd be talking about potential tiebreakers. The problem is, so if a team finishes with more conference wins, then they win the league, right? If you end up with the same number of conference wins, then it goes to, and there aren't the same number of games played, then it would go to a percentage, right? A winning percentage in conference. And so that would benefit LSU. But the problem is, like, you basically missed 2 opportunities now to get conference wins. If you don't play today, you missed 1 for sure last week with South Carolina. Now, it could have been a loss, but you missed an opportunity at a conference win, and then if you don't play today, that would be 2 opportunities at conference wins that you don't have. So, Shannon O'Mac, good morning. Love the Superman shirt. I have a collection myself. Yeah, this is for those that miss it. It says Superman Dad on it. I don't know. Erica gets these shirts made at Etsy all the time, and I don't know why. If this was like Father's Day or if this was one of Drew's birthday parties or something, I really don't remember why she had these made. But anyway, or maybe you know what this was? This was Halloween. Drew was Superman for Halloween, and I refused to dress up for Halloween. So like I wore Superman Dad, and she had Superman Mom on shirts. That's what it was. It was Halloween. Jordan Haddad, good morning. Yeah, man, fired up for the LSU gymnastics team competing for a national championship today. I'll be locked into that. Earl, good morning. Are you concerned about the errors the last few weeks? Yeah, Earl. I'm hoping that it's just a hiccup. I mean, at one point in the season, LSU was leading the country in fielding percentage, but the last few weeks we have seen a little hiccup. But what the early season tells us, they're certainly capable defensive team. Just got to lock in. Patrick Kason, good morning. Ty Fly, good morning. David Ezernak, good morning. Lack of focus yesterday. I think that's fair. All right, last one. Barry Joslin. Howdy, Matt. This is the best show online besides Whiskey and Wine, and you're the best sports guy in broadcasting. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Barry. Very kind of you, man. I really appreciate that. Very nice of you to say. So. Okay, y'all, I think we're done. 153 watching, only 63 likes. If you would take a quick second, smash that like button. Shout out to Brock and Hudco. You need orthopedics, go to Brock. After hours clinic open today. Hudco Roofing, a lot of bad weather. If you need help from a roofer, we'd love to help. Literally anywhere in the state of Louisiana, we have an office near you that can help. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. On the way out, let me remind you, Pro Charge. The link pinned in the chat, both on YouTube and Facebook. That's the Pro Charge charger giveaway link. So all this month, businesses or any commercial building, click that link, fill out the form. You're automatically entered to win a free EV charger from Pro Charge, giving away 3 EV chargers installed at the end of this month. And again, that's anywhere in the state of Louisiana. Anywhere in Louisiana. So if you own a business or have a commercial building or wherever you work, tell your boss, supervisor, whatever, send them that link. It'll take you 30 seconds to fill out the form, maybe a minute to fill out the form. And you're automatically entered to win, and the winners will be chosen at the end of the month. So, ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. And remember, like, the great thing about an EV charger is it's passive. It brings people into your business, and it's passive revenue as well. There's tap to pay option. So when people want to charge, think about just like a tap to pay at a gas pump. You tap to pay to charge your vehicle, and you as the business owner will make money off of that. ProCharge handles all the payments, and you just get a check at the end of the month. Okay, that's gonna do it for us. Let's see DA to the Chiefs move on from Clyde. I don't think they haven't picked up his 5th-year option, right? So then this would be his last season in Kansas City. I can't imagine that he doesn't play this year at Kansas City. But if they don't pick up his 5th-year option, then he'd be a free agent after this year, right? Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. As always, go Tigers. Hope the LSU ladies can win the Gymnastics National Championship. We'll be locked into that today. Be locked into LSU baseball, dodging some raindrops, but hopefully they get this one in today. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for being there. Peace.